Are you prepared for the unexpected? In a world where the future is uncertain, having a plan isn't just sensible, it's vital. Imagine waking up one morning to find that your routine trip to the grocery store is no longer feasible. Whether due to a natural disaster, economic instability, or any number of unpredictable events, the reality is that the world we live in can change in an instant. So, the question becomes, are you ready? The importance of preparedness cannot be overstated. Many of us go about our lives under the comforting illusion of continuity, expecting tomorrow to look much like today. However, history has shown us time and again that change is the only constant. From earthquakes, hurricanes, and wildfires to unforeseen economic downturns, the potential for sudden and drastic change is always present. But how do we navigate such a landscape of unpredictability? The key lies in being prepared for the worst while hoping for the best. And a pivotal part of this preparedness is having a well-stocked pantry. This isn't about hoarding out of fear, but instead, it's about strategic planning and foresight. Think of your home as a fortress, and your pantry as the armory that sustains it. A well-stocked pantry can be the difference between weathering a storm comfortably or struggling to make ends meet. It's the difference between being at the mercy of external circumstances and maintaining control over your situation. Just as a hiker wouldn't venture into the wilderness without a map and compass, we too shouldn't navigate our lives without a plan. And a well-stocked pantry is an integral part of this plan. It's a lifeline in times of crisis, a buffer against the caprices of fate. So how do we prepare for such unpredictable events? The answer lies in one word: stockpiling. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the strategies and tactics for creating a robust food cache that can sustain you and your loved ones through the toughest of times, because when it comes to survival, every second counts. Stockpiling in its simplest form means accumulating a substantial quantity of food and other necessities for future use. So let's break it down, shall we? Picture this. You're in a world where grocery stores are no longer a quick drive away, or perhaps they're empty. You're going to need to rely on your own resources. Stockpiling is the act of preparing for such scenarios. It's the process of gathering and storing provisions that can sustain life over an extended period. It's not just about having food on hand, but having the right kinds of food. Those that can stay edible over time and offer the nutrition you'll need. And why, you might ask, do we need to stockpile? Well, it's like having an insurance policy, but instead of covering your car or home, it covers your most basic human need: food. It provides peace of mind knowing you have a backup plan should the unexpected occur. But it's not just about being ready for calamities. Stockpiling can also have financial benefits. Ever notice how food prices tend to rise over time? By purchasing and storing non-perishable foods when they're on sale, you can beat inflation and save money in the long run. Moreover, having a stockpile can make you more self-sufficient. In times of crisis, whether it's a natural disaster, a pandemic, or a financial downturn, those with a well-stocked pantry can weather the storm more comfortably than those without. You become less reliant on external systems that may falter when you need them the most. In essence, stockpiling is a strategy for survival, a buffer against uncertainty. It's a way to ensure that no matter what happens, you have the means to feed yourself and your loved ones. It's about planning ahead, taking control of your own survival, and being prepared for whatever comes your way. Now that we know the what and why, let's delve into the how. To start stockpiling, you need to determine your caloric needs. The key is to plan for sustenance, not indulgence. Now let's talk about calories. These are the tiny units of energy that fuel our bodies. Everything we do, from breathing to running a marathon, requires calories. So, in a survival situation, having enough of them is crucial. But how many calories do you need? Well, that depends on several factors. Age, sex, and physical activity level all play a role. First, let's talk about age. As we grow older, our metabolic rate tends to slow down. This means we need fewer calories to maintain our weight. Generally speaking, adults need anywhere from 1,800 to 2,400 calories a day. Next up is sex. On average, men tend to need more calories than women. This is because men usually have more muscle mass, which burns more calories than fat. Men typically need between 2,200 and 3,000 calories per day, while women need between 1,800 and 2,400. Lastly, we have physical activity level. The more active you are, the more calories you'll need. An office worker leading a sedentary lifestyle might need fewer calories than a construction worker who performs hard physical labor all day. Now let's put it all together. To estimate the amount of food needed for a 6-month period, you'll need to do some math. Multiply your daily caloric need by the number of days in 6 months, which is around 180. So, for instance, if you're a moderately active adult woman who needs around 2,000 calories a day, you'll need about 360,000 calories to sustain you for 6 months. That's a lot of food, but remember, we're planning for sustenance, not indulgence. And there you have it. That's the caloric equation in a nutshell. It might seem a bit complicated, but it's a vital step in ensuring you have enough food to last you through tough times. Once you've calculated your needs, it's time to start sourcing your provisions. Sourcing food for your stockpile can be daunting, but with a well-planned shopping list, it doesn't have to be. Let's delve into the art of creating a shopping list that feeds survival. The focus here is on long-lasting, nutrient-dense foods. These are the pillars of your provisions, the sustenance that will keep you going when the going gets tough. Your first task is to identify the foods that have a long shelf life yet are rich in essential nutrients. Foods like whole grains, dried beans, canned goods, and freeze-dried meals. These items can last for years if stored properly, providing a reliable food source when fresh produce may not be available. Remember, variety is not just the spice of life, but it's also crucial for a balanced diet. So, diversify your list with different types of grains, proteins, and fruits and vegetables. Now, let's talk about quantities. It's not about hoarding, but rather about smart and calculated stockpiling. Consider your daily caloric needs, multiply that by the number of days in 6 months, and voila! You have the total amount of calories you need to source. Bulk buying is your secret weapon here. It's cost-effective and efficient. Look out for deals on your staple items in bulk stores or online. And don't skip on the non-perishables like powdered milk, honey, or cooking oil. Don't forget about the essentials like water. Hydration is key to survival. Storing enough water is just as important as storing food. Also consider adding some comfort foods to your list. During stressful times, a familiar treat can boost morale and provide a sense of normalcy. Finally, remember to rotate your stockpile. Use the oldest items first and replace them with fresh ones. This ensures your stock remains fresh and edible. Armed with your list, you're ready to start building your stockpile. The race against time is on, but with careful planning and strategic shopping, you'll be well on your way to securing your survival. Building your stockpile is a race against time, but with foresight and determination, you can win this race. As we embark on this final leg of our journey, let's talk strategies. Setting a budget for your stockpile is paramount. It's easy to get carried away with the idea of stockpiling, but remember, it's not about hoarding. It's about making smart, calculated decisions to ensure your survival. Allocate a portion of your monthly budget to your stockpile. This way, you can gradually build up your supplies without breaking the bank. Next up, consider the pace at which you accumulate your stockpile. A sudden, large purchase might raise eyebrows and can be a strain on your finances. Instead, opt for a more gradual approach. Each time you go shopping, buy a few extra items specifically for your stockpile. Over time, these small additions will add up to a substantial cache of supplies. Now let's talk storage. Proper storage is key to maximizing the shelf life of your supplies. Store your items in a cool, dry place, away from sunlight. And remember, first in, first out. Always use your oldest items first to ensure nothing goes to waste. Consider diversifying your stockpile. Don't just stock up on canned goods. Include grains, dried beans, and other non-perishable items. Variety is not only good for your palate, but also ensures a balanced diet. Finally, keep an inventory. Know what you have and how much of it. This way you can easily track what needs replenishing and when. Remember, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Building a robust stockpile takes time and patience, but the peace of mind it brings is worth every effort. Remember, in the race against time, every second counts. Start your stockpile today.